I'm sitting in the heart of the Komodo National Park. I just walked through a beautiful mountain pass. It's evening and the sun is just about to set, and this is one of the most beautiful locations that I have yet to find in Indonesia thus far. I've been doing research out here in Indonesia for the last few years, but I had not yet visited Komodo until this particular expedition. This place is just wild. It's one of the most beautiful places that I've seen anywhere in the world. It has that raw, prehistoric look to it where you could almost imagine dinosaurs still walking around. It's the rainy season here, so the hills are alive with fresh grass, and it's such a contrast to see such azure waters and along, against backdrops of this lush green sort of mountainous terrain. It's such a lovely day. It's sweltering out here. It's absolutely sweltering, and as we came through this mountain pass now, my breath caught as I saw this beautiful scenery laid out before us. But as we made our way down to the beach, I was just devastated to actually see all of this rubbish lying around on what is an uninhabited area of Komodo. I see this all over the world, but today I was particularly heartbroken, and I stopped to say a few things about it because I find that this is the scene that I see so many places around the world. Where I'll be traveling on expedition to some of the most remote corners of the planet and find rubbish lying everywhere. And I think that's a testament to how we are treating the planet as our garbage can. It's really disturbing. And it's one of the things that I am most concerned about is how wasteful this society is becoming and how we turn a blind eye to the garbage that we use on a daily basis. I've often heard people say that once rubbish leaves their site, it's out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. And people don't really give a second thought to where the products that they use go ultimately. Once you put something in the trash, that's the last time you really ever consider where it is. A lot of our rubbish these days actually finds its way to the ocean through storm drains, through rivers, and through direct dumping, unfortunately. And so anywhere that you travel in the world, especially remote islands, places that have dominant currents that wash through them, tend to carry this rubbish and distribute them in some of the most pristine locations that we still have left on the planet, Komodo National Park being one of them. So it's important, again, to highlight some of these issues so that people can start considering where they put their trash. I am pleased to see in many places around the world a commitment to recycling, and there are many recycling programs around the world, even starting in developing nations. But we have to go one step further than that. I think it's really important, if we're going to protect some of these pristine areas, for us to actually go out and manually clean them ourselves. It is nothing for us to spend a few moments, whether it's on vacation or whether it's on a weekend with the family, to go out and clean your backyard or to clean somewhere that you're visiting. I can think of nothing worse than to go on vacation to a beautiful remote area and to find beaches like this. And if you're upset about that and you want to do something about it, next time you take a trip, make a commitment to spend 15 minutes or a half an hour cleaning that destination. If you're upset about how your backyard looks, what your city looks like, make a commitment, whether it's 1 hour a week or 1 hour a month, to going out and doing some cleaning in your own home or around your neighborhood or in your city. I think it's up to each and every one of us to make that commitment. And if we were all to take that upon ourselves, the world would be a much cleaner and more beautiful place. I've been having such an excellent time out here at the Komodo National Park. I was treated to some extraordinary encounters with manta rays a few days ago. Probably one of the biggest and most intense feeding aggregations that I've ever seen. I think I identified about 60 different individual mantas in that feeding group, but there were probably 100 on the day that we were out, all feeding at the surface. And again, this is all linked together. Trash in the ocean is very much linked to my favorite animal, the manta ray, and that they are surface feeders, and they're supposed to feed on plankton. But as you can imagine, all of this plastic that surrounds me right now will eventually start breaking up, as you can see. And over time, the ocean and the sand will batter it into tiny little pieces of microplastic. And that microplastic will invariably find its way back into the ocean, and because of its buoyancy will lay on the surface, and animals will ingest it. Everything from seabirds like albatross to marine reptiles like our endangered sea turtles, and marine planktivores, the giants of our oceans, things like whales, things like manta rays, things like whale sharks will all start ingesting this microplastic, which is impossible for them to digest. So I think all of these things are important to remember, that waste doesn't just affect the beauty of our natural environment, but it actually affects the entire ecosystem. And it is imperative that we do something about the trash in our oceans and the trash on our beaches. So we should all take that to heart and make a commitment to do something about it the next time that we have an opportunity.